What's going on, guys? So today I'm actually doing a kind of custom DIY sort of video, um, very similar to some of my previous DIY things, but in this case it's about tiny transformers. So if you guys recall, I think I may have mentioned it before in the review for these New Age Seekers that I wanted to display them a little bit differently due to how I have my shelf set up, because I have these two giants duking it out and then all the small guys down below. Um, I wanted to have more room, and the only way to get that is to go vertical. Now, I do have the stands for them. However, once again, no foot room for those. So down the line, I'll probably have a separate like diorama maybe set up for the space bridge situation. But for now, I'm going with an old school modeler's trick, and that is hanging jets. Pretty easy. Um, well, to some degree. So what I have is, of course, Thundercracker left, and as you can see, I've already done Starscream and Skywarp. But all I'm using for this is some of this Supplemax monofilament illusion cord. It's basically fishing line, or for doing things. Now, I originally bought this to do my shadow boxes for my Nintendo figures, and I was actually videoing that series, and then I gave up on that idea entirely. But so basically, I'm using this, my nippers, just to cut those, and a tool that I've had for a while, but I found a new use for due to going to Home Depot today. So I've got my little cordless Dremel, and I actually picked up some chucks that were small enough to go with my super tiny Dremel uh, bits. So this one is just a little bit bigger than the fishing line. So a lot of guys will use command hooks or little eyelet screws and stuff like that and just drill it into the thing. And if you're doing it in the ceiling, that's perfectly fine. But I'm going into the roof of my billy here, and I didn't want to have big hooks hanging down because then you have to hide them. So what I'm doing instead is picking out my location, drilling super tiny holes, and then running my line and hanging my little jet friend. Pretty simple. Um, so I'll go ahead and do up close so you can see what's going on, and then I'll basically show how I'm doing it. So basically you can see here that I've got Starscream suspended by these two lines. Now, just to get him out of the way here, I have it hooked around Omega Supreme's claw, but that's unnecessary technically speaking, so you can do that number. Now, I do have them slightly twisted for some stability up here, but you can see where the lines just go up into the tiny holes and how kind of, well, transparent that is. And then, of course, I have Skywarp here going directly at Omega's crotch. It is what it is. I can alter things ever so slightly, and I thought this was a more permanent install than originally I thought, the way I have them run through the guys, but in reality I can actually take them down. So even down the line I could probably use this setup for something else. But the important thing is that the holes are so small that realistically you're not even going to notice where they are. And then up here on the shelf above where my flame toy stuff is, you just get the tiniest little bit of knot hanging out the top. Okay, with a slightly better view here, we can see how I'm going to work this. Now, I'm doing it with these guys in place because otherwise I would have to, well, figure it out after the fact. But what I need to do now is get my next set of cords and figure out where Thundercracker is going to be. Now, I did have to accommodate for whenever I put the lights on, and I should be more than clear here. It's only like 2 inches or so. Got that about 2 1/4 is the closest one I have here. So even when I get the next light bar for that, totally not going to be in the way. Which I almost forgot about when I started drilling those holes, and then I went, am I clear? Okay, good. So with Skywarp there, I was calling him Megatron. Starscream there. Maybe I should have Thundercracker back in here, you know, just as an alternate thing. Now, I did also consider doing this for Swoop, because currently he's on the ground. So I could probably do this for Swoop as well. Might be a little bit trickier given his dimensions, and also I've got like really nice holes and flaps and stuff to hang this guy on. But I think that having Thundercracker somewhere right in here in between, plus this gets me mostly clear of the arms, I think. Especially if I do it this way, I'm totally clean of everything. Now, I don't want them attacking the Decepticons, obviously, but, you know, gotta figure something out. I don't want him, like, down here with Starscream, but I could even have him somewhere here. But I think going this way will give me the best chance, because then I can just avoid the things. So, next step is to get some fishing line. Just basically get a length of it, because he's going to be the highest one. I don't have to be too concerned. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could pull him like way up here, but then later if I want something else, maybe I'll put Swoop way up here, but it's going to get harder once I have Thundercracker here. So and with these New Age guys, there just happen to be like enough channels, like right here where the chest goes, there's a perfectly good hole that you can just kind of go straight through. Now, I'm threading it through, though in reality, you can basically floss it into place. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Okay. the other thing that is always apparent is whenever I accidentally hook it on something else. But you can see here, this gives me a good dangle. Now, that's where I accidentally discovered earlier that it's not a permanent run through. I can, in fact, just lift the nose up and over. Okay, so I'm just going to tie a simple knot in that, because in reality, it's bigger than the hole. Super simple. So basically, this is me kind of taking the lessons I learned with doing the shadow boxes and applying it this way. So now what I can do is figure out where my holes are going to go. So I need to come in here, which is not easy. Let that be a lesson to you. Do the back ones first. Don't be stupid. Do the back ones first. Okay. So the nose is going to be here on basically level. So round about there. Okay, that didn't work out too well. I tried to scratch it with my finger, it just doesn't work. Where did I set the Dremel tool? There it is. Okay, so let's try that again. This time with a little more success. I'll do enough right about where I tied my knot. So basically I'm going to shoot for right here. And then what I need to do now is run that other side of the line down through the hole. So yeah, in theory, that's where I want it to be. I mean, I can always adjust Omega's arm realistically out of the way, but I don't want the unknotted end to run down through. Pretty simple, just kind of like that. Okay, so I went completely in a bad spot, but it'll be okay. So next I want to drill the secondary hole. round about there. So sawdust out the way. And then comes the not so fun part of trying to set the height. You gotta run that string back up and through. If it goes, there it goes. Pull all that slack out. And yeah, I put that directly in line to his claw, so I needed to go to about here, but that's okay. And that was what we would call a catastrophic failure. Because heaven forbid I do this without having a giant mess happen. So now I gotta fix all that. Okay, so get this height set again the proper way. And yeah, I know in theory I could just tie it around the other end, but I'm not keen on that because it makes it harder to get out. And really, I mean, I can come up pretty high with them if I wanted to. Or I could stay at a reasonable height here. Okay, so I set that there. And then I just need to tie a knot. I can't grab the line. Okay, so I need to pull up just a bit. Go ahead and it sucks working with this much line, but you know, it is what it is. I might actually get the second length of it out of this. In reality, how's that forearm looking? Should have got 2 cameras for this. Okay, what's happening here? Oh, that backfired because now the knot is way the fuck up here. Let's go a little higher if can. So around about there. Okay, so drop it down slowly. And there we go. So now's the part where I have to plan how the rest of it goes. So obviously I need to get him lined up where I need to go, but I need to trim off this excess first. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because I have enough here. I'm going to tie these together. Make this best I can. There's one thing about working with such tiny fishing line. Like, I wish I had some, like, fishing pliers, I guess, for lack of a better term. This way I kind of try to anchor it together. And in reality, if you really wanted to try, you could use this whole thing with one long length of wire. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, so trim that off. Trim that off. Okay, so that's not enough, but actually, I don't know. Let's look. Let's look. So I want to do just a single twist. No, that ain't gonna be enough. Okay. So set that down. Grab some more fishing line. Okay, so here is the part I tend to dread. One, I'm getting everybody caught up here. So I'm going to feed this back through where it needs to go. Fix your wing. Okay. Once again, would have been smarter to do the back one first. So that was a fun idea, not an easy one. Okay, I've got like way too much slack here. I can fix that. Way too much slack on one and not enough on the other. So let's tack that. And then we need to do one near it. Okay, so 2 holes set. You just hang there like a good boy. You guys are just seeing my shoulder, aren't you? And just like before, place everything where it needs to go. Okay, so I have a lot of length, so I can make it fly back up if I want. Okay, let's see here. Huh. Or I'll get them at a perfectly level. That was an accident. It just happened to, where I tied it came out to perfectly level. That's funny. Okay, so he's not diving. He's just flying. That's okay. Actually, I didn't want to have him diving. I wanted to have him at a climbing position. But that's actually not bad. I can live with it. Let me trim off this excess up here. And I'll take a closer look at it. So once again, there's my Flyboys. You got Starscream flying there with Megatron. I don't need to pick all that up after he fell a minute ago. And then, you know, Skywarp, Thundercracker, and then there's all my strings. And like I said, you know, Starscream is only slightly problematic in how he's interacting. So if I need to, I can just tuck that in there. Just move him a little bit. Then Thundercracker having a similar issue. Here we go. But once again, up here, you see that's all that's even poking out. Now I was going to do a different thing and actually put like anchor points, like for the strings to tie around. But that would be like predicated on like a little plastic piece and then like a hole. So that'd be more of a prominent thing sticking out. And that's what I was going against because I still need to fit a certain figure on a base up here. So let me pull back that. So we have our big boy drift here. His sword doesn't really clear, but now he is completely covering that. So there we go. So that's my how-to of displaying my Jet Boys. And yeah, I added the little thruster effects on there. I thought about adding the null ray effects, but I swapped it out for like the wing missiles. And then once again, I might do swoop in there, have him attacking like the head of Devastator, something like that. It might be cool. But guys, give me a big old thumbs up if you like this idea. If you've done something similar with your stuff, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed this and whatever you could see of it. I know I was kind of in a weird position for a lot of it, but it was a fun idea. Thanks to Jimmy H for the idea I did alter it ever so slightly, but I'm actually happy with the results. And it gave me a way to kind of dynamically display these cool little jets. But if you haven't seen those reviews, or any of these reviews, go check them out. But I'll see you guys later. Remember, as always, to keep on nerding.